We're back.
Okay, so we're back from recess, 8:13 p.m. Moving on to 8 updates, 8A, contractor registration.
Mayor, council, stakeholders, community members. On updates for A, I wanted to put this on the agenda because there was some conversation that has been had during some of our town hall meetings. And so some of the residents were concerned on how we're gonna make up and bring in additional revenue. Since coming back to Kirby in 2025, we initiated something called contractor registration. So registration that we currently have to do, a lot of cities are currently doing this. The city of Kirby wasn't. So we brought in additional money through our permits by having contractors pay an annual fee of $100. We also already have to keep their contract registration in reference to what they do in our community to make sure that companies that are doing business in our community, have went through some sort of check. What we're trying to do is put this in our system and be able to make this more common. That'll allow us to bring in additional revenue. I come before you just to remind you of the $2,400 that's being collected in this budget cycle. That's additional going into our permits, just to show you some of the things that we've added to bring in additional revenue here in the city of Kirby. Any questions? And you'll see the new application, and then you'll see the letter that goes out to businesses in reference to. The only businesses we don't charge $100 to are businesses that are licensed by TDLR, Texas Department of Licensing and Registration. If they're an HVAC or electrical company, if they're licensed through the state, we can't charge them $100, but we still have to keep their file. And so we charge an administrative fee for going through that process to make sure we try to vet them here doing business here in the city of Kirby.
Councilmember Street.
Did we vote on this?
Yes, ma'am, you weren't on council yet.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to 8B, Ackerman Road project.
Council, as you know, this project kick-started off on the bond in 2018. Coming through at the end of 2025, we start getting to the 99% complete. Come before you in 2026 saying that this project is now complete. We're in our warranty phase. And so the bonds for 2018, as far as road projects, are 100% complete. We're working through some last minute punch list, but for the most part, as far as our warranty, we're 100% complete. I just want to continue to bring you that update until there is a closeout that y'all are aware of. And until we close that, we're just going to continue to keep it on here just in case we have to go back and have a discussion.
Thank you. Moving on to 9A. Items for individual consideration. 9A, discussion and possible action to adopt ordinance 2026-7777, an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Kirby, Texas, authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of City of Kirby, Texas, combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2026, approving and authorizing an official statement and distribution thereof, a purchase contract and paying agent registrar agreement, approving and authorizing all other instruments and procedures related thereto, and providing for immediate effective dates. Dr. Roland.
Mayor, thank you, council members and citizens. We're at a moment in journey that we've been working long and hard on, having town hall meetings, engaging with community members, but also engaging with leadership. We have a dynamic team as our Kirby staff, but we also added some staff members during this process. One of the staff members that we've added in the firm of Hilltop Securities has been, or the actual representative has represented the city of Kirby in this capacity over the last 30 years, specifically the city of Kirby. And so we should give, that should give us some confidence that we have somebody who has helped the city of Kirby along the way for the last 30 years. Ms. Ann, and we also have Ms. Orlando J., who represents our bond council. So we have Ms. Ann from Hilltop, who is our financial advisor, and we have Mr. J, Orlando J., who is part of our bond council presentation.
Thank you. Let me do the presentation.
Honorable Mayor, members, Dr. Rowland, for the record, my name is Ann Berger-Anderson, and I'm with Hilltop Securities, and I serve the city of Kirby as your financial advisor. Very much appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. I have a presentation that I'd like to walk through. Please, if you have any questions along the way, stop and I'll be happy to answer them.
And there'll be a question coming at the end.
Okay. Just while we're working on this technical part, earlier I put a printed presentation in front of each of your seats, so you have that as well in case you'd like to make notes. Do you want me to go ahead and get started, or do you want to? Okay. All right. If I may please ask you to turn to slide 3, the slide that at the top has credit rating commentary. Okay, so awesome. Thank you. All right. Whenever there is a debt obligation undertaken, there are multiple steps to the process. And one of those steps is procuring a rating. So the city of Kirby has been rated by Standard & Poor's for a number of years. And in looking at it, we made a determination that we were going to approach Standard & Poor's to get these obligations rated. We are very excited to share with the city that the rating was reaffirmed, an A+, and they talked about a broad and diverse metropolitan statistical area. They talked about your 2026 budget is trending positively, and you can achieve balanced results without the use of reserves. They talked about there were no further near-term debt plans, and that your pension and other obligations are manageable. And they talked about that the stable outlook reflects the expectation that the city will maintain balanced operations and management expectations on no further reserve draws. And I think this is so important because Standard & Poor's is a completely independent organization. They are required to put together their opinions for the benefit of investors, not necessarily for the benefit of the city. So when they are preparing your rating, they're not just looking at other cities in Texas, they're looking at other issuers across the entire country, because they have to make sure that every A+ rated credit falls within the defined category of their criteria. And so with this, especially with the commentary that we received, we'd like to congratulate the city governance, leadership, and management for the reaffirmation of your rating. One of the other items out there, and we are always trying to look at ways that we can provide potential ability to reduce the cost of borrowing. There are 2 companies that provide what we call municipal bond insurance. And the companies are Assured Guarantee and Build America Mutual. Many people have heard of BAM. And so what they do, they are rated AA. And if they review you and if they approve you as a credit, they provide an unconditional guarantee to pay your debt service if there is ever a reason that the city cannot. So instead of your bond selling at an A+, they actually are able to sell at a AA, which is a higher rating and results in a lower interest rate. So we submitted bids to both of them. They provided their bids. From Assured Guarantee, we got a bid of 18 basis points, and there is a premium just under $50,000. And BAM, it was a 22 basis point for just under $61,000. did is we took an uninsured scale based on the city's A+ rating. We took the insured scale and factored in the cost of the premium, and we determined that the true interest cost was better by 7 basis points, or about $142,000. So these bonds have been marketed with the benefit of the municipal bond insurance. The other thing it does too is not only help to reduce the cost, it also helps to expand the investor pool, the potential investor pool. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, so one of the things, and your guidance to us is always so critical and so important. And I know when I was here before and the particular projects that were discussed, there was a lot of concern about, well, some of these projects have short useful lives, some of these projects have longer useful life. How do we balance that? So what we did, this is a chart of how we allocated the debt service. So there are police and public work vehicle and equipment in the amount of about $500,000. So we amortize that over a 7-year period to match the projected useful life of those projects. The next category are street improvements, fire truck, and equipment. Well, those generally only have about a 20-year useful life. So if you look at where the blue is, that is where we amortized over 20 years those projects that have a 20-year useful life. The third category were city facility upgrades, new building, and park and recreational improvements. Those generally have much longer useful lives of 30 years, and that's where we amortize the gray. And then finally, on the top, the green, that's water and wastewater, and that has a 30-year, at least a 30-year useful life. So the police and public work and equipment, $500,000. The street improvements, fire truck and equipment, $4.5 million. The city facility upgrades, new building parks and recreational improvements, $6 million. And then the top one, the utility system improvements, are $4 million. So we took your feedback because we knew that that was important, and worked to structure amortization that makes each of these pay off in a period which matches their useful life.
Excuse me, can you repeat those numbers one more time?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Street, please raise your hand so you can be recognized.
The-
Ma'am. Councilmember Street, that's your first warning. Go ahead.
Yes, the police and public work vehicles and equipment, the orange on the bottom is a principal amount of $500,000. The blue, which is the next one, street improvements, fire truck and equipment, $4.5 million. The city facility upgrades, new building parks and recreational improvements, the gray is $6 million. And then the green at the top, utility system infrastructure improvements, is $4 million. So the bid that I have for your consideration this evening is interest rate of 4.4%. And I'm going to come back and talk about that in just a minute. If you'll look at the sources and uses, the par amount is $14,890,000. But if you look at the deposit to the project fund, it's able to be the whole $15 million. The reason that we're able to do that, Texas state law says if you have premium can be used to offset your cost of issuance, underwriter's discount, and insurance premium. So these bonds priced with just under $385,000 premium. So the total sources are $15,275,000, of which we show the deposit to the project fund of $15 million, and then we show the detail for the cost of issuance, underwriter's discount, and the bond insurance. To the right, we have the projected debt service on an aggregated basis, but I'm going to come back and give you more detail on that. We have the fiscal year, we have the principal amount. All of these that, as I said, they sold at a premium. You can see on the front end, they're all 5% coupons, and then on the back end, it's a 4.375 and a 4.5. But to the right of that is the yield, and you can see your yields range from a 265 to a 473. You have the interest and the debt service. But we drill down further, and before I get to that, let me talk a little bit about, we updated the number on May 15th to provide for putting in our disclosure document and for using in the rating agency process and the insurance process. And what we did is, we wanted to go back and compare the bid that we have for your consideration this evening with where we thought we were going to be on May 15th. So on May 15th, we thought it would be a $15 million bond issue. Well, it's actually $14,890,000, so it's $110,000 less. Back then, we thought your project fund deposit for the projects would only be $14,700,000, but we're able to provide the whole $15 million because of the premium we had. At that point in time, we projected a true interest cost of 5.2%. The bid I have for your consideration tonight is 4.49. That is a 71 basis point reduction, which means our aggregated debt service is $1,950,000 less than we have projected just on May 15th. We have a call date of March 1, 2036. It is standard in Texas to have a 10-year par call. So what that means, in 10 years, you, at your sole discretion, can pay off all of the bonds, some of the bonds. You can do it on that day. You can do it any day thereafter. You have complete, like I said, sole discretion of if you want to pay them off early after this March 1, 2036 date, you may do that for no cost. It is at the par value of the bonds. And one of the things that's interesting, and we'll talk about this a little bit more on another slide, when we started meeting with the city manager back in January, we were putting all of this information together and looking at it. We projected that for a $10 million bond issue, that the projected tax rate impact would be 13 cents. Well, what we have with the improvements, this $1,950,000, it's more, it's 11 million, it's $1 million more, but the projected tax rate impact is 11 cents. And I've got a chart that will show that. So here is the tax rate impact. I know it's a lot of numbers, but we did want to provide the granular level of detail. We show in 2027, this is not certified yet. It is the preliminary number that we received. The taxable assessed valuation will not be certified until July 25th pursuant to state law, but we got the most current number we did, and we show this, and we try to be conservative. We showed absolutely no growth in your projected taxable assessed valuation for the term of the bonds. And so we have your existing debt, we have the INS tax rate calculation, and in the second column from the right, we show the projected tax rate impact. Now, I want to make sure that I'm highlighting that this is for the first 3 projects. This does not include the utility system debt. These are for the equipment, for the streets, the fire truck, city facilities. These are what we call general fund projects that are generally supported by ad valorem taxes. On the next page, we separately look at the $4 million for your waterworks and sewer system. What generally waterworks and sewer system, because they are an enterprise system, you want your debt to be self-supporting. You want your utility system to pay for that debt service. So, depending on the council's guidance this evening, we prepare debt service schedules which break all 4 purposes out, and your staff will use the first 3 projects to help calculate the ad valorem tax, and then they'll use the utility system and look at the revenues that you have from your utility system to pay this debt. We took your numbers from your 25 audit and prepared your net available for debt service, and we've demonstrated that you have sufficient revenues to pay this debt service. Okay, so this is another very exciting part, but before I get here, all these steps that I've talked about, rating agencies, municipal bond insurance, the disclosure document. There is also the underwriters require a due diligence call. All of this takes just a tremendous amount of time, and I wanted to share with you how incredibly helpful your staff was through this whole process. We know, especially now as we're getting into budget, there's so many things that are going on, but they were always so responsive and so helpful in this process, and we really appreciate it. pre-marketing call yesterday. A lot of the geopolitical information on the war had come out. The bond markets were very sluggish. All of the transactions that priced yesterday had major balances lately. And so we all knew that yesterday. We talked about that, and they pre-marketed at these levels. This morning when we came in, they call it green on the screen. Treasuries were going positively, and what is absolutely amazing to me is this bond issue was just about $15 million. You had over $161 million in orders for these certificates of obligation. You were almost 11 times oversubscribed. And it's hard to see because the charts, your two term bonds, were so oversubscribed, it's almost kind of hard to see. But you were in many instances like 13, on the term bonds, like 13 times oversubscribed. This allowed us to come in and lower your basis points all up and down the curve, which was very helpful. And what this did is where we thought we were starting this morning was actually about a 460. And where we ended up, we were able to reduce the basis points because they came in and they lowered the yields. They hoped some of these investors go away, that we lowered them so much that they weren't going to be interested. You want to keep a buck, but this was so oversubscribed that allowed the tick. The bid that I have for your consideration tonight is 11.6 basis points less than where we started this morning. These are and the other thing that was really amazing, you had 31 different investors who put in orders for your bond. With the 16th Amendment, Merrill Lynch, Ameriprise, Millennium, Dinosaur, Financial, ISQ, Eaton Vance, Navidad, Samco, A.H. Williams. And so we highlight the 31 completely different accounts. I don't know that I've seen a bond issue that's been for $15 million with almost 11 times oversubscribed and 31 different investors. What we did on the right, we put in a pie chart so you can see you have some bank portfolios, you've got bond funds, SMA stands for separately managed accounts. Those are actually retail investors who wanted your bond. Money managers, institutional, prop and trading, we've got bank trust, and you even had a hedge fund that wanted to invest in your bonds. So wanted to highlight this. And what this is called the pricing progression. So this shows where we started on the left. And again, I know it's small on the screen. Preliminary pricing, what's in the middle, is where we started this morning. And then if you go to the right, the change in spread, you can see everywhere from -2 down at the bottom to -18 basis points. So this is actually one of the most oversubscribed investor interest, investor diversity pricing that I have ever had the opportunity to work on in my 40 years. So just in summary, and I'll be happy to answer any questions after this, but our recommendation is your financial advisor, and I think I mentioned this to you early on in the process. As your financial advisor, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the city. And so with the outcome that we have, we recommend that the city council consider this bid and accept it. Your true interest cost is 4.49, which is 71 basis points lower. These bonds were significantly oversubscribed, which allowed reductions to the yield. You're able to get the whole $15 million in your project fund, and then your debt service is about 1.95 less than our projections. I mentioned it earlier, but we want to express our appreciation to your staff, to Dr. Rowland, to Christine, to Leanne, and all the work and all the times that they were responsive and helpful to us. Jay is here, and you may have questions for him later, but he helped us so much in the role of bond counsel. Your underwriter, Cabrera Capital Markets, was the senior manager, and BOK was the co-manager, and they are the ones that brought all of those investors to the table and allowed for there to be such a strong reprice. We really would like to commend their efforts and their strategy as they went into this pricing. And then finally, as Dr. Rowland said, I've had the honor of working with the city for over 30 years. We greatly appreciate being a part of your team and the long-term relationship that we've had. And so with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Go down the road. Councilmember Street?
Okay. Having just been handed these kind of numbers, thank you so much. I realize that, yes, it's a daily change in the market, I get that. It would have been nice, however, had we just had a for instance kind of thing a couple of weeks ago, so we could look at how it's gonna work out, but we didn't get that, so, okay. I'm looking at the debt service, page 8. For 2027, debt service, we're gonna be paying $926,471 on the first payment in March, correct? Is that what that means?
You will pay principal and interest.
Right.
Yes,
And that together is,
$926,000.
right, okay. So each one of these is the payment that we'll be making per year. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, ma'am. Your principal is due March 1st.
And I can appreciate, you talked about we have insurance, so we have bond insurance. So if we don't come up with $926,471, we do what? We call the insurance company?
So the insurance company will make the payment, but then the insurance company will seek remedies to be reimbursed for the payment that they made.
Okay, like what?
These are when you adopt this ordinance, you are making a pledge to your bondholders that you will levy the necessary taxes in order to pay this debt service. You can use utility system revenues, but on an aggregate basis, you are committing to the bondholders that you will take the necessary action to pay this debt service.
Okay, then I have another question. If we have to levy taxes, increase them for the sinking fund, right? Does that affect our total tax so that we have to put it on the ballot in November?
No, ma'am.
So the sinking fund does not affect the tax with relation to getting it approved with the state,
That is correct.
or with the residents?
That is correct.
So we get to put a tax increase on them without their consent, is that correct?
Well, as I had mentioned when we first did this, the part of the process is that when the council approved the notice of intent to issue, that there were weekly publications for 2 consecutive weeks in the newspaper of general circulation. It also went on the city's website. One of the things that the city of Kirby has done, which I will share with you, not all of the cities that we work with do, was that there have been public hearings and town hall meetings and things like that over the course of the last year to help give the community input relative.
I realize that, and I have watched some, I've been to one or two. No numbers were given, no explanation of how we were gonna pay this back. It was just we need this stuff, so we're gonna get this $15 million. Actually, the $15 million didn't come up until just recently. There was no information given to me as a council member prior to the May announcement at council. No idea. And then it wasn't a bond, it was a certificate of obligation, which did not have to go to the public for a vote. So thinking that we've all been involved in this since January is not true. And I'm not happy that we have not been involved in this information, not gotten any memos, not gotten any emails informing us of what apparently the staff has been doing. Now, I don't have a problem with the development of what we need to get done. We do need these things. But I have a problem with not being informed as the process is moving along. That has nothing to do with you. That has to do with our leadership. Apparently, there are several other members of council who have been in on the game, just not me and some others. So I have an issue with that. I also don't think we need 15 million. I think we need a fire truck. we need a water well. I think we should start small. I am not a risky investor. I am not a chance taker. We are a small city with little or a very small amount that we can develop as commercial property. We are not going to get any bigger. We're completely surrounded by San Antonio. I'm surprised that we have any other options.
Councilmember Garza?
Okay, so first off, this was actually probably the greatest info that we have received on
Yes.
this whole situation. We had absolutely no distinct numbers until today at like maybe 4:30, almost 5 o'clock. So the way it actually happened, with anything, they had been mentioning 15 million, and then we got, something like this that ended up being just empty. And then about, 4:30, 5 o'clock, we ended up getting some numbers in, and we got two pieces of paper, one that stated stuff in purple and one that was in black. And then when we sat down, just about this 10-minute break, we ended up getting two more. So we've been basically attempting to get the type of information that you're giving. And unfortunately, a lot of us, well, probably not the majority of us here, but some of us up here have not received any of this type of info. And my idea here is this actually would have been really good information prior to our first vote on this whole thing. It might have actually probably changed some of our minds, or we could have started addressing what we were going to go after and how much it would actually cost. But I mean, even still looking at some of these numbers, and we're still talking about $920,000+ a year. So I mean, it's still a lot of money for us that relatively only gets a $7 million overall per year. So that's pretty much what our budget is, and now we're asking to take $1 million out for the next 30 years. It just seems like an awful lot. I'm in agreement with Councilwoman Street about not necessarily needing the new city hall as we are currently using this one. And don't get me wrong, this one could utilize some upgrades. However, I just don't see the use of $6 million to just basically replace this building. And I just wanted to say that it's hard to have confidence when we receive these empty numbers in our council packets. I guarantee there's not one council member that has had the opportunity to look over all 4 documents. I guarantee there's not one council member that has had the opportunity to look over all 4 documents that we will receive today. Yet we're pressing to vote on this tonight. And as I stated earlier, the majority of council was not even here at the last meeting to ask questions or understand the numbers. As a matter of fact, it would have made the most sense actually to get this at the last meeting, because then we could have, really looked into even the current numbers at that moment. So I mean, even though there's certain instances of this that do look very well, it's still very serious on our $7 million budget. I'm glad we can get so many investors. That's great. Kirby spent. Point of order?
What's your point of order?
What is your question, sir?
I'm discussing the
Information.
yeah.
Right now, during his time, we'll let him finish up. He is talking about the topic, about the CO, so we'll let him continue.
So back to it. I kind of lost my train of thought there. We were discussing that this should have. I'm glad we haven't heard many investors and all this other stuff, but it would have been nice to understand basically how much debt we would accrue and given us some numbers for that moment. Because had we had that, we probably would have made better decisions. I do have some questions. I mean, is this the first time that you presented anything like this to anybody at the city? Is that the reason why we're only getting it tonight?
When I was here for the notice of intent, we didn't have I had specific numbers in, but we didn't talk about them at that time. We did talk about the 15 million.
Okay. So, this is the first time that we've seen any of this type of investor stuff or anything?
We did not have the interest rate, we did not have the investors until today.
Gotcha.
And that is in part because the market is so volatile right now. And it's not just Kirby, any bond sale that goes on, and your underwriters cannot take the risk of holding those bonds 2 days.
Of course.
So it is, unfortunately, it's a little bit of the nature of the business, that it is, you price the day and then you take it to the council or governing body with that information.
Okay, so there was no way to get us actually any of these numbers prior to today, is what you're saying?
There were preliminary numbers, but not these numbers.
Gotcha. When did we get those preliminary numbers? I only have 8 seconds.
We have provided those numbers to the staff.
Since
We
when?
didn't get it.
Thank you. Dr. Rowland, you can answer that last piece about the preliminary numbers and the ones not everything. He asked about preliminary numbers.
So based on the process that we followed, we followed the process with the notifications. All city council members 30 days ago received a packet of information. The same information that you all received in your email, the same information that the city secretary received that was available to any resident, the same information or ordinance that was posted on the website and on the front door. In this process, I think one of the interesting things is that there's nothing to hide because we have to follow state law. And our bond counsel and our financial advisors have been guiding us through this process. The process that she's talking about is when we started hosting town hall meetings, trying to figure out what it is that the community wanted to support. We didn't have a number then. We did not have a number then. Ms. Ann has been before this council twice, right? Ms. Ann has been before this council twice. And so, while we were walking through this process, we want to make sure that we're putting out the facts and not communicating how we feel. I apologize that some people didn't believe what we said, but we had stood by the process the whole entire time. She explained to you the numbers that you're looking at came out this morning when it went to the market, and that is what you have before you. But the process that the city of Kirby is demonstrated and gone through is the same process that the city of Schertz is going to have to do when this month they pass their notice of intent. And in 45 days, they would do the same thing for $10 million. We're not doing anything different. And so, again, hopefully everyone's listening to me and not trying to see something that I'm not saying. We've followed the process that the state law has required us to do. We've tried to engage people to listen to what we're saying.
Thank you. Councilor Lehman, you have anything?
Yes. Looking at this graph that we had for the proposed Kirby 2026 average life of this structure, it looked like the city facility upgrades and builds and all that will go for, I guess, the 30-year term. Is that the way I'm reading that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then that, I just picked that one, but it all falls into place for the others, for the utility as well. It starts now and goes for 30 years as well.
Yes, sir.
And I think you explained that to us previously, is that that is why the police and public works vehicle are only for the 7 years, because that's the life of that equipment.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
All right. In looking at this, in these numbers and these yields that you have on the next page or on the next graph, it means that that's what's there for us today.
Yes, sir. These rates are only good through this council meeting. If the council does not decide to move forward, these numbers are not good tomorrow.
Tomorrow or the next day.
Or the next, no, sir.
We would need to go with them because this is what's going if we decide not to and try to do this process, it'll be a whole new ballgame now,
Yes,
trying
sir.
to get this going.
You would have to go through the notice of intent process again. You would have to go the 45 days, and then you would price, at approximately I think you did it like 53 days, you always leave a little cushion in there, and then you would be subject to the prevailing market conditions at that time.
Okay. So, in other words, the numbers that came, like you said, were from, this morning or after you opened up, they opened up business and you saw that all this information was available and all these rates and everything was available.
Yes,
for
sir.
us.
We had a call at 8:30 this morning. They had an order period from 9 until 10:30.
Mhm.
The underwriter needed an hour to work through all of this because there were so many orders and they come back with their proposal. They got back to us at 11:30. At that point in time, we had to rerun the numbers. We had to send them to the underwriter to be verified. We had to send them to the municipal bond insurer to be verified. And only after those processes took place, then we were able to distribute the final numbers. And I don't think that was until like 1:30 or 2 o'clock today. And then that's when bond counsel started putting them in the documents.
And that's where we came down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I follow you there. Thank you so much for that. And according to the rating, all these investors and all this see that we qualify for this amount and they have no concern that we would be able to, according to history or how they looked at our reports, that we would be able to pay this.
And that's a great question, because you are rated, and your rating is reaffirmed, and we have the insurance. But after 2008, and the whole market dislocation, all of these sophisticated investors, 16th Amendment, Merrill Lynch, they now have in-house credit committees. So they look at the municipal bond insurance, they look at your A+ rating, but they have all done significant credit review and analysis on the city of Kirby, and they have to take this to their credit committees before they can submit an order. So you have 3 levels of entities. You've got the rating agency, you've got the insurance company, and you've got the credit committees for all of these investors who have analyzed this. And obviously, 31 different accounts felt that they wanted to invest in the city of Kirby.
That's good. I think I look at this and it's, we've been discussing or we've been hearing and, I've been trying to analyze this. It's the same way to me as when I first bought my first house, that I didn't have the money to pay for it. And somebody had the good sense and said, you know what, I can invest in him and he'll be able to pay me. I didn't know how I was going to make that first payment at first, I'll be honest. But we were able to do it, and we're able to get that. So thank you very much for this. It really is important to know that numbers are current today, right now. They weren't produced a week ago or a month ago. And it'll have to start over again. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Amadaka?
We have 31 investors that are willing to invest in the city. So to me, that shows that everything is working in the right way. I just wanted to say thank you for the updated information.
Before you finish, do you want to hear from the bond council, or are you gonna go hold on a set? Because they're together. Do you want to? That's it.
Right now, did you want to, because,
I'll do a brief introduction. I don't want to derail you guys, because honestly, Ms. Edgerton probably told y'all everything y'all care to hear. She's the finance side, I'm the legal side. I too owe y'all fiduciary duty as your attorney. My role, we have 2 prongs. One is the federal tax law analysis. We analyze the transaction and projects to ensure that this will be done on a tax exempt basis. And what that means is that y'all get more favorable rates because the investors that are buying y'all's bonds and getting paid interest don't have to pay the federal government income tax. So y'all get a lower rate because of that. The other part is any transaction has to go through the Attorney General's office, and so I'm your liaison through them. So I vet all your projects, make sure they pass state law muster. I put together all the legal documents to make sure everything is lined up so that y'all have no issues, and get an approving opinion to the Attorney General's office. I put together that ordinance. If y'all have any questions about that, that's what I'm here to answer.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Sanchez. I'm sorry, Councilmember Lozada.
Okay, so I understand, so as far as the numbers you provided today, those were all gathered today because of, you have to wait until the market, correct? But, the 15 million, did you have any idea of how they were broken down into like 10 million for this, 3 million for that, 2 million for that, or is that not your role?
So, we received guidance from the city manager after the public hearings about the projected allocations. And so he gave that to us. And then what we did is we worked, because I remembered the guidance from the council when I was here before about you didn't want to be paying 30 years for vehicles, for police vehicles and equipment. So we then took the information, the amount for each category, and we then worked with the structure to help make sure that we could allocate this, and it, like I said, I have a set of detailed numbers. It has 4 different debt service schedules, and you can see that the police and public work vehicles and equipment is only 7 years. That the 20-year street improvements and fire truck and equipment, 20 years. We can specifically tie to those so everybody can see that we worked to then take the numbers that we got, but then worked it in such a way that it would allow for the amortization to only go through the end of the useful life.
Okay, and then as far as, property tax increase, do we know how much that would be yearly for, our residents?
If you have a average home value, I can calculate it.
150?
250, ma'am.
250?
Yeah,
For the average home value,
yeah, about 250, ma'am.
it's about $275 a year or $22 a month.
Can you say that one more time?
I'm just doing it right here. Let me just double check my numbers. $275 a year, and on a monthly basis, it's $22.92.
275 a year, 22 a month, or,
Just under 23 a month, $22.92.
and then the interest rate is at 5%, is that correct?
The interest rate, I'm gonna get very technical here, it is below 5%, it's a 4.49. It was actually 4.489, but we rounded to 4.49.
And then can we also, because of the fluctuation of the market, it could be possible, of course, that it'll go up. But it's also possible that it will go down, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay, it is also, as far as investors go, is it common or normal to see this many investors interested in, our,
No, ma'am, not on a $15 million transaction. To be almost 11 times oversubscribed and 39 different investors, no, ma'am, I don't see that.
okay.
And to your point, I don't know if you were gonna ask this question, but I'll go very quickly because I know this time. You can, if interest rates go down, on March 1st, 2036, we can refund them, like you talked about a mortgage. You can sell a new bond at a lower interest rate and take those proceeds and pay off these bonds if the interest rates are higher and save money. So if interest rates go up, you're locked in, they can't make the rates go up. But if interest rates go down beginning on March 1, 2036, you can refinance it at lower interest rates if the market at the time allows that.
Okay, and then are we obligated to do the 15 million?
It's an all or none, yes ma'am.
Now, as far as the interest by investors, they usually invest in municipal bonds because of the bond insurance, correct?
That is correct. You do have some investors that sometimes go between like the stock market or, you know, treasury bond markets and municipal bond markets. You have some investors that just kind of play the market wherever they feel like they're getting their best value. But a lot of these particular investors are ones and like, it's not on this particular page, but one of your investors who bought your bonds, I had a bond sale a week and a half ago before the 4th of July for the Texas Water Development Board. It was the same investor that bought the AAA State of Texas GO bonds from the Texas Water Development Board, was one of the investors that you had in your bonds today. I don't remember who it was because it's kind of been a hectic day, but I can go back and find that and I'm like, oh, I recognize his name because I saw him as an investor on the bond sale a week and a half ago.
Thank you. Councilmember McCormick?
I want to first say thank you for all the work you put into this presentation and returning here again to answer in more detail some of the questions that we've been asking you. So I do appreciate your time, as well as the attorney's time for being here today. Councilmember Molina touched upon the questions I have regarding their credit rating. So my follow-up question is, because of our credit score and rating, the investors feel confident that we can fund this bond. So one of the questions that keeps circulating is, worst case scenario, will tax be increased? I think the concern is community think that the tax is going to be increased to fund this bond. And so I want to clarify that that question and that concern to the residents. So to rephrase my statement here, because of our credit rating, the investors feel confident with our existing budget and projected budget, we can fund this bond. However, obligation. But do you, only way we would use the tax increase if we was to somehow cannot fund it? I just want to clarify that for the citizens.
Yes, ma'am. So based on your projected taxable assessed valuation for the first 3 projects, the ones that were for the equipment, the streets, the fire truck, the parks and recreation facilities and city facility upgrades, we are projecting that this would be about an 11 penny tax rate increase on your interest and sinking fund. Now, I don't know how that's going to impact your M&O side, and with all the truth in taxation and all of that, I don't know that. That's not what I do. And this taxable assessed valuation is not certified. It will not be certified by Bear County until July 25th. But at least what we know today, this is what it looks like. And so yes, ma'am, we are projecting that there would be a tax rate increase to pay this. Now, on the $4 million for the utility system, that debt service is about $247,000 a year based on your 25 audit and the net available for debt service. We show that you have the money sufficient to make that debt service payment.
So worst case scenario, on one side, we may look at 11 cents increase in taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to clarify that because that's a concern that our taxes are going to go through the roof. So thank you for answering that for me. And you've covered my other questions, so I appreciate your time and being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. First, thank you both for your hard work. Thank you to all the staff that has worked hard on this. All community members who have came out for the town halls over the past year. I just want to, and everybody, well, a couple have already stated the A+ rating, and I just think that is a big deal for the community members to know that our books are good. Like, the city of Kirby's books are good. We've heard it before from the auditor, financial consultant, now hearing from you. Also knowing that we have over 11 investors wanting to invest. So I just want to make sure that everybody hears that again. A+ rating, that is wonderful for the city of Kirby. We're not below the barrel. Like, we're doing great. And I think that needs to be said. A+ rating. Maybe that actually should be a flyer posted for the city of Kirby so people understand and the community members know A+. We're doing great. The other thing is, I just wanted to make sure to go ahead and say again, I think that we're, well, just for those, the debt service, we're talking about lower 1.9 million. Lower 1.9, that's a big deal. 1.9 million, so that's not something just to gloss over. So again, thank you. And there was questions actually sent by a council member earlier, and the questions were answered by, you answered the questions, sir? Okay, thank you for answering those questions, sir, in detail, and providing those, and then Dr. Rowland actually sent those questions out to all the council members beforehand. So, they did receive those questions via email. But again, thank you so much, and that's all I have actually for my discussion. But again, thank you for the staff and all their hard work. Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2026-7777, an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Kirby, Texas, authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of City of Kirby, Texas, combination tax and revenue certificates of obligations, Series 2026, approving and authorizing an official statement and the distribution of a purchase contract and paying agent register agreement, approving and authorizing all other instruments and procedures related thereto, and providing for an immediate effective date. I second it.
Have a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-7777, an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Kirby, Texas, authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of City of Kirby, Texas, combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2026, approving and authorizing an official statement and the distribution thereof, a purchase contract and a paying agent registrar agreement, approving and authorizing all other instruments and procedures related thereto, and providing for an immediate effective date. First by Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second by Councilmember McCormick. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
I still believe this should be a separate bond voted on by the people. Should not push tax increases or take $1 million out of our budget or use without. So, no.
Councilmember Molina?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
No.
Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to say something or? Oh, go ahead. What's your question?
He doesn't have to raise his hand to speak?
He's staff.
Does he get time too?
Okay, ma'am.
Does he get time?
No, ma'am, he does not. He's staff.
Why not?
Does get time. We've already had this conversation before. You
No,
and attorney
we haven't.
have. The staff does not get time.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Rowland.
Mayor, council, residents, the ordinance that y'all just passed is a big step in the right direction. You all as leaders guiding us, guiding this community forward, should feel proud of what you just accomplished. This bond wasn't just something for projects we just pulled out of the sky. Many of you who lived in Kirby in 2024 sat here without water for 5 days because one of our water wells did not work. 4 years prior to that, we've been talking about plans and plans and plans and plans, and this step is a step in the right direction to be able to bring those home for the residents. So for those of you who appreciate the effort that this council and the leadership took, because we know that this wasn't easy. 15 million is a lot. It's the largest amount in a certificate of obligation or general obligation bond that the city has ever done. But we all know preventive maintenance for the city of Kirby, we need 50 million, $100 million is the number we actually need. So 15 million of 100 million, we still have a long way to go. But working together, we've committed. This is our plan for the next 3 years. In 2031, this community should be putting on the ballot a general obligation bond where residents have the ability to go through this process. So now we have 5 years to work on a plan together, but the community should be a community that is functioning properly, should be looking at bonds or some other financing mechanisms within 5 to 7 years. Just to share. Again, thank you all. I thank the staff. This was a tremendous feat. Majority of our staff had never gone through this bond process before, ever. But we had experts like our financial advisor, our experts like our bond counsel. We had Ms. Leanne, who's our financial consultant, and myself. But what we did is we engaged every staff member on our executive leadership team so they could be a part of the process. So you've seen people from Public Works, you've seen people from police, you've seen people from fire, and the senior center, and Ms. Wilson. And so all of us was here this morning when we had that 8:30 call that went into 9 when they seen the market on the screen. So now we have better educated and learned staff who can walk us through this process in 2031. So residents know, please be assured that we do know what we're doing. Thank you, Ms. Ann, and thank you, Orlando, for helping walking the city of Kirby forward in this during this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have 9B, discussion and possible action to approve the agreement for continuing disclosure services by and between City of Kirby, Texas, hereinafter referred to as the issuer, and HTS Continuing Disclosure Service in the Division of Hilltop Securities Incorporated.
Mayor, Council, this is on the agenda back to back. There are several requirements that are required. Currently, we need to vote on an agreement called the Continuous Disclosure Services, which is an outside service that is provided by Hilltop. You have the contract before you in your packet. So we're asking for City Council to approve the agreement for the continued disclosure services between the City of Kirby and a division of Hilltop, because obviously they are fiduciary, and so their company is segregated in one in disclosures and one as an FA, and so you have that contract before you, Ms. Ann, probably can answer any questions that you may have.
Councilmember Street.
I'd like to know who Janice Best is, since she's our interim director of finance on this document.
She was the last finance person for the last employee finance person for the city of Kirby.
Why is her name on this contract? We
I'll-
can't approve this.
I will apologize. This is, I did not prepare that agreement. We have a continuing disclosure group who prepares it. It was obviously an error and an oversight, and we'll get that.
That happens a lot, that's the problem, that's why I was asking. I know she's not here anymore. Nobody proofs these things before they put them out. I have an issue with that. So we have a separate entity that handles the actual obligation bonds?
So the continued disclosure service agreement is different than the bond. This is the actual documents that need to be filed annually, but I'll let Ms.
Yes, so
when you have over $10 million in debt outstanding, any entity across the country that has over $10 million in debt outstanding, in our disclosure document, there are a series of tables. We show your taxable assessed valuation by category. We show the debt that you have outstanding, the population, what have your ad valorem tax collections been, what is your general fund? It shows the revenue and the expenses, your sales tax history. So there are a number of tables in the disclosure document. And so the SEC is called the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC Rule 15C212 requires any political subdivision or entity that has debt outstanding in more than $10 million, annually, you have to make a continuing disclosure filing. And so this is the part of our company that does that. Our proposed fee, we have been providing that service. This is now a more formalization with the continuing disclosure group, and our fee on that is $3,500 a year.
Is this in addition to what we're already paying you for the Ackerman bond handling? Or are we doing that with you? We're paying somebody.
Right, our fee doesn't change. You're paying $3,500, you're gonna continue to pay $3,500.
Okay, but I mean, is that in addition to the $2,000 we're already paying for Ackerman bond handling?
No, ma'am, you will pay
So it's all together?
You'll pay one fee that covers all the debt you have outstanding. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, that's what I needed.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I like the name changed on there.
Yes, I apologize for that. We will make sure we get that corrected.
We understand, and you're here, believe me, I'm
Well,
sorry.
they don't get looked at when they get here. Somebody put it together here.
I'm
And
sorry.
knows that Janice Best isn't here anymore. So I'm trying to figure out why we have these continuing. Not the first time, has nothing to do with you.
Okay, again, staff, I apologize, and the city of Kirby is answering those comments. Councilmember Garza.
I'm allowed to voice my opinion.
Council on the street, you're not allowed to attack in person.
I didn't attack anybody.
You don't
No
need-
names was mentioned.
Well, you said your piece, so it's time to move on.
Councilmember Garza.
So I did see, we have the $3,600, for the consultation fee, which is 30% and 35% for crime, 30% for city, 35% for crime control. Then I see this economic development, market analytic reports.
You're looking at the wrong one, council member. You're looking at
I'm
HDL.
looking at the wrong one?
Yes,
The
that's
one I
it.
was given.
No, sir, that's HDL, that's a little later on in the packet.
Okay.
We're right behind the ordinance, this is for the continuous disclosure.
So which, thank you. Gotcha.
And just as I mentioned earlier, we have been providing this service, you have been paying for this service. We are in a highly regulated environment. Previously, we provided this service under our financial advisory contract. However, our general counsel believes that it's far more appropriate to have a separate financial advisory contract than to have a separate continuing disclosure agreement.
Okay. Well, just to kind of give insight to it, has anything else been added to this that weren't already paying for this last year?
No, I believe it's the same fee. I will confirm that, but I believe it's a $3,500 fee.
Okay.
It's 2,000 on the budget.
Yeah, it was, got it. So, we're gonna have to budget more for that then. Okay, yeah, that's all the information I have on that. Let's see.
Anything else, Councilmember?
No.
Councilmember Molina? Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Councilmember Lozano?
None.
Councilmember McCormick?
No questions, Mayor.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Mayor, make a motion to approve the agreement for continuing disclosure services by and between City of Kirby, Texas, hereinafter referred to as the issuer, and HTS Continuing Disclosure Services, a division of Hilltop Security Incorporated.
Second.
McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina,
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Apadaka?
Yes.
Mayor Ryder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to 9C, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2026-5252, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents obtained and enter into an agreement with Plank for a foundation repair vendor for the CBEDG in their fiscal year 25 project.
Council members, staff, mayor, this was on the agenda previously. We've come back, just, to give some clarity. I think you all gave some direction. I also have Ms. Kathy Gomez here. What we did is we took what you all, provided and met with our engineer. So I think we're first talking about the foundation repair. You all, have seen the ordinance, you all seen the project summary, from the bids. In the foundation repair, there was a letter that I also placed up front to you that came from our engineer firm.
And city manager, he did do RFPs and everything. He did send out the bids and.
They did help us with the bid process. And then from that, Ms. Kathy Gomez, put together the process. From this, based on, the amount, we have a recommendation, the same recommendation from Ms. Gomez and the same recommendation from our engineer that they put on their letterhead and stamp, is that we move forward with this project. Council, the only way we can move forward with closing out this project is if you vote on these next two items, so we can get the project started. And so what's the recommendations?
The recommendation for the foundation is, Pinnacle Foundation.
And that's the second lowest, right?
It is. That is the best value. Yes, that's the best value. I think, in the letter, it does definitely, it's explained, therefore, Bain recommends for the city of Kirby to utilize Pinnacle Foundation Repair to perform the foundation repairs at the Kirby Senior Center. Opinions from Bain, although the Pinnacle's base bid was $4,000 more than Olshan, the additional pilings, better warranty, and inclusion of plumbing testing provided a better overall value, which is why we're recommending as the best value Pinnacle Foundation and Repair in the amount of $21,975.
Director Gomez, do you have anything? Or that's, okay. Councilmember Street.
Okay, we got handed this paper from Bain tonight. It's dated June 11th. Why did we just now get it? I don't understand why this could have been sent out earlier. Also, yes, I see that Pinnacle is the next lowest one at 21,000. I did an open records request for RFPs for this. There were none done. It was non-responsive from the city. So there were no RFPs done. This is $21,000. It's a CDBG grant over $19,999. It requires an RFP. The process is important. If we're not gonna take the lowest bid on this, then we're over 20,000, we're over 19,999. We need an RFP to put out to get this foundation done. That's the rules. Am I correct, sir? I refer to the attorney.
Well, if you look at the small purchases, under 50,000 is what HUD says.
This isn't HUD, this is
This is
CDBG.
CBDG.
That is
That is HUD.
that's the federal government.
Not,
It's small purchases under
this is for the
50,000.
county.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It is. CDBG funds, if you don't know, Community Development Block Grants, are funds under HUD. That's the federal government that is allocated to the
According
county.
to Bear County's pages that I've looked at, and I should have printed out for you, over $20,000. It requires RFPs. I'm sorry, it does.
And those may be out of date if you're looking at Bear County.
Well, ours are out of date too, so that's not an unusual thing.
But we did have name and name.
We had name
And this is what they did.
Yes, so, what, if
Yeah.
you read the letter, and I don't wanna, argue, I don't wanna go back and forth with you, so I'll wait for you to finish, Councilmember. And then I'll read to you what our engineers.
I
who work
see
with
what
them.
the engineer said.
So then if you see what they said, who are the engineers, who goes through, who
I'm
has to
talking
read.
about the
I don't
process
wanna go
which
back
you
and forth with you, I'm
preach.
sorry.
Stop talking then and let me speak. It's my time. If you want to make us follow your processes for all other city issues, you say, trust the process. I would like for you to follow this process. This is how it's supposed to work. That's why they have guidelines at Bear County. Now, when I look that up and I see the guidelines and you tell me that doesn't count, I don't understand why you get to say that and you just ignore that. This is supposed to have an RFP. All the other amounts on here are over $20,000. The baby one that you don't like is $17,000. I'm sorry, but it's over $20,000, it should have an RFP. That way they have exactly the right guidelines to go by and you don't have anybody that didn't do sidewalks, or didn't do this, or didn't do that. So I don't understand why you're mad at me because I'm calling this out. I reserve the rest of my time for rebuttal at minute 14. Yes, I can. I absolutely can.
You can, but she's the chair. If she chooses not to let you speak or recognize you, then you're.
Yes, then
You've
it'll
lost
be
your
on
time.
record that she will refuse to let me speak.
Are you finished yet?
I have a minute 14 left, but yes.
No, ma'am. Councilmember Garza.
I was under the impression that CBDG grants needed to accept the lowest bid offers unless there was like something distinctly wrong with the lowest bid. Now, I mean, I can understand that Bay and Tina Van and Captain Gomez may want this because it has more stuff and it might be better stuff, but I was pretty sure that we had to take the lowest offer. Also, I still do have an idea that the RFP is required after $20,000. So, this is something that, we've done CBDG grants before, and this was required at that moment, so unless something's relatively changed, I don't quite understand, why we would not be going through the same process. So, so you're saying that an RFP is not required?
With the process that we took, we put out the bid, we put out bids, based on the dollar amount, an RFP is not required. That has been told to you all, that's been shared with you all. We also provided an engineering letter from our engineer. The attorneys told you, I don't know what else you want to hear.
How much would it be when an RFP would be required?
I think you just said.
50,000 or more.
Okay.
And that's when a full former RFP publication is required at 50 grand or more.
And that's according to HUD, you're saying?
That's according to the HUD, yeah, the HUD.
Yeah.
And so, it may be that the numbers have changed at Bear County, they may be a couple years behind or a few years behind, I don't know. So,
Okay.
it is what it is, but, Medina, Bain, they do this all the time, so, I'm looking at the letter here.
So, yeah, so I mean, in other words, like if this all goes to whatever, we're just gonna put it back on them because we got this letter.
That's correct. So, council, just to share, when we are also making the recommendation.
Hold on, Dr. Rowland. He needs to finish any of his questions or whatever else he may have.
Okay, so I still don't feel comfortable with the situation, I mean, regardless if we have somebody to blame or not, so, I mean, that's really all I would say, thank you.
Thank you. We can actually call, Mr. Rayner.
That's what she's gonna tell you.
Oh, you're right, just wait, come on up, Director Gomez.
At the start of the process, I wanted to make sure that I was following all guidelines, so I reached out to Bear County, representative for the administrator for the CDBG, Robert Rayner, and asked, what kind of process we would have to follow, bid process, and he advised we would have to follow whatever our process is within the city.
Thank you. Councilor, go ahead.
So just want to be clear, because there's a way we have to communicate this. Based on the recommendation, it says on the second page, the opinion, although Pinnacle's base bid is $4,900 more than Ocean, the additional pilings, the better warranty, and inclusion of the plumbing testing provided a better overall value. We are selecting Pinnacle Foundation, or recommending, Pinnacle Foundation for the best value.
And legally, Mayor, we can do that. We follow, and that's what we discussed, a couple, 3 months ago when we had this, because we wanted the engineers to have their say. If I remember correctly, and that's what they've done.
Councilmember Molina.
I have no question.
Mayor Pro Tem Amadaka.
I don't have any questions.
Councilmember Lozano.
Yes, so with this letter from Bain Medina Bain, are you saying that they sent out a request for proposals?
Raymond Innovating did not do a request for proposals. We said that there's no request for proposals needed. We
Okay.
got bids from several companies, which is 3 or more. Based on the amount, we don't need to formally go into an RFP process.
Now, based on, so the CDBG, on the Bear County website, the policy and procedures do state that anything over, $20,000 does have to go to, out for proposals or bids, I'm sorry. So, how is that, why is the state, I guess, superseding what the CDBG policy and requirements are for any, request for a
Well,
proposal?
this is the federal government website that I'm looking at.
Okay, so can we look at the CDBG, Bear County website? I mean, don't we have to follow their procedures if we are getting money from them?
Not necessarily, there may be some loophole or something that we're able to do this.
Okay, so then in that case, if we're unsure,
Right.
can we, put this off until we make sure that this is the way we're supposed, that we can do it that way, and that we are not, obligated to follow whatever the policy and requirements are on the Bear County
There's
website?
always that option if y'all choose to do that. But ultimately, though, you've had Medina Bain do this. This is what they do.
Right, but
And
it's
they
still,
work with, I'm sure, Bear County all the time, so.
okay, but they still didn't send it out for RFP, that's my thing. And if
Yeah.
that's part of the grant process, I don't want them to come back and say, y'all, didn't follow this process, correctly. And, I also understood that it goes to, the lowest bidder, so,
Well, in this case, we're doing the best value, is who we're using. And then who was the gentleman that we had, city manager at, Bear County that walked us through this?
Robert Rayner, the administrator for economic development. So again, I don't know if people aren't listening.
no, I have.
So we do not, when going through the process, Bear County has a policy, we have a policy, and the state has a policy. When our policies are different than their counties, or different than the state, or different than the federal, you have the ability to use a different one. We are not bound to their county's policy because we're not their county.
And federal law always trumps.
That's correct. And so, I don't know the last time we're asking that this process has been vetted, has come before you before. We follow back up, we've got the engineer, our engineer, just not an outside engineer. It's our engineer for the city of Kirby, who cost us money to engage them in this process, and we walked through this. They have put on their letterhead, their engineering letterhead, the recommendation that we're providing to you all, and you all are coming back and suggesting that we are not following the process. So,
Okay,
we're asking.
Because my time is running. In the past, like for instance, the Ackerman Road, or any other, CDBG grant, if they were over 20,000, were they not, RFPs weren't sent out?
I'm not sure that the city of Kirby has worked through a grant that has been under $50,000 in reference to CDBG funds from Bear County. Our total project is broken down in reference to, I think our total we got from them is $108,000 for the completed project. We happen to we broke down the different subsections of the project. This project that's gone for bid for foundations, the same process we took to get the numbers when we submitted this as our project. So we have verified this not once, not twice, but 3 times. And so when it comes to what you all are suggesting, that is true. But Ackerman Road was $1 million project. And so I want us to understand what we're saying.
So, City Manager, I think I see the problem here. So I'm looking at the Bear County policies and procedures, and we're talking about purchasing, okay? And so it has $5,000 to $19,999 by county. Now, you go to the federal regs, certified federal regs, 200.320 allows up to $149,999. So that's why we're able to do it under the federal law. That's how it's being done. But that's by county. And we're a municipality, so we would be able to use the federal law. That's what, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just want us to all be on the same page.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here, the purchasing.
Thank you. Councilmember McCormick?
Okay, just to wrap up the RFP, because that's exactly what I have in my notes here. So as we sit here at this moment in time for this particular project, a past project, we have worked with the engineer, Bear County, and HUD/the federal side agencies through our due diligence to make sure that this bid is right. And we have the insurance of our engineering company by the language of the best, the best overall value. So we have that confidence from our engineer that this is a solid bid or a solid contract. So I just wanted to point that out, and if everyone's concerned with the RFP, I think we've kind of conferred with the needed people that we need to speak to in order to have some assurance and move this forward.
Okay, thank you. Did you have something else, Rick, or no?
No.
Okay, I
I think I'm a place marker.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so my advice are, Mr. Jones, you're saying that this is because we can go by federal law.
Federal law, yeah.
All right. Anybody have a motion?
And this is what's known as a micro purchase under federal law. So, I mean,
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-5252, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents to obtain and enter into an agreement with Pinnacle Foundation Repair for a foundation repair vendor for the CBDG Senior Center fiscal year 25 project.
our engineer, man, he didn't count mailboxes for Ackerman or, you know, those millions of change orders, so, without an RFP, no.
Councilmember Molina?
Well, just to clarify, he wasn't the one that did the proposal or the plans,
Yeah, and Councilman Garza, I would encourage you to take that statement back. I do not want the city to have any type of liability with Bain, Medina, Bain.
I mean, he
Because
executed the contract.
That was not the Ackerman.
He didn't execute the contract with Ackerman? My bad. If he didn't execute the contract with Ackerman, then I take it
I mean,
back.
because
But
we
if he did-
don't want to get ourselves sued.
I get you, but I'm just saying, if he didn't execute the contract with Ackerman, I
Yes, sir,
take it back.
but we don't want to get sued, so he
Okay,
wasn't the
so
one.
if he didn't execute the contract with Ackerman, I take it back.
Okay.
So basically, he's saying that Kirby is here. Go ahead, Councilman Molina. It was on the other.
yes, to this.
Councilmember Lozano?
No.
Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
She
So
doesn't-
she made,
I don't think she can.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, she actually made the, so yes for me, but she actually made the motion.
I can make a motion to
Yeah.
get this on the.
Yeah.
She can
on the
say
table,
no.
but
And
I
then she
say
can
no.
vote against it, yeah.
Yeah,
She can do that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Strange, but it's okay.
That's what I'm about to say, very, very strange, but, okay. All right, so the motion passes, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 9D, discussion possible action to approve resolution 2026-5050, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents obtained to enter into agreement with Blank for a painting vendor for the CBD Center, Senior Center fiscal year 25 project. We have one recommendation for that.
All right. Good evening, council. For the painting, what I did was, as per the request from the last meeting, was to submit the color samples to them. Pick the same color sample, which is really nice, pretty blue for like the door frames, the kitchen, the restroom dividers, and then the white for the walls. And provide those colors to each of the vendors there for Certified Revival Painting, Colorful Painting. The adjusted costs you see are all the same for the same paint, the same, areas to be painted, and the same two colors to be chosen. And the lowest one, my recommendation would be to go with Colorful Painting. Each company came out, very professional, offered their services, took the time, to go take the
Page
pictures.
105, Councilman Lozano.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Took the time. Now, while palatable painting is the lowest, I also recommend them based on the fact that this company actually sat down, asked, are you interested in specific colors, made some recommendation on the colors, and when they could see I was a little bit hesitant, I wasn't, didn't want to pick right then and there, she said, we'll do a consultation, we'll sit down, we'll talk about colors, and out of all three, she was the only one that did that as compared to the other two.
Okay, and so which one was it again, can you say for the?
Palatable painting.
Okay, all right, Councilmember Street.
Well, palatable paint is the lowest bid, and that's the one that we have to take, so that's like a no-brainer. Because we don't have the engineer telling us which one we should choose. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Garza.
Again, this is the lowest bid, and it's, under $20,000. I don't have an issue with it. Thank you.
Councilmember Molina.
No comment.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca.
Nothing to add.
Councilmember Lozano.
Yes, it is, the lowest bid, and then it's also a women business enterprise, so, I think usually they take priority with that, so. I'm glad you chose that one, because it's one, thank you.
Councilmember McCormick.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, have a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-5050, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents to obtain and enter into an agreement with Palatable Painting for a painting vendor for the CBDG fiscal year 25 project.
Second.
Who wants it?
I'll take it.
Discussion, okay, so to approve, action to approve resolution 2026-5050, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents obtained and enter agreement with Palatable Painting for a painting vendor for the CDBG Senior Center fiscal year 25 project. First by Mayor Pro Tem Amador, second by Councilmember Gardner, please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina.
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
Sure, why not?
Mayor Pro Tem Amador?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to 9E, discussion of possible action to adopt resolution 2026-587, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with HDL Company, providing a segregation clause and establishing the effective date. And that one, Dr. Rowland.
Council, you all had this presentation before. I'm bringing it back because this is a valuable resource that we are trying to get. With the direction that we've made in approving the certificate of obligation, this is just an additional component as we move forward. The HDL is, as the presentation that you all had before, is a company that specializes in sales tax services. They not only provide data, research, and information to municipalities around the state, that then we then get this information and are able to use it to bring on economic development, but also to engage as we're trying to get people to come into our community. The resources that we received from them last time gave us information in reference to, that we shared in reference to like, what are we doing monthly versus annually based on sales tax. We know that we pay, as we start talking about debt and property taxes, your property tax is the way you get money, so is also sales tax. And in the city of Kirby, we've not spent enough time, effort, and energy making sure we increase our sales tax, but also roll out plans to help us to educate our residents. This is a step in the right direction, which will allow us to be able to get that data and information so we can make better informed decisions. You all have the packet. They've presented at least 2 times, probably about 3 since 2025. But it is imperative not only for the data and information that we didn't use, they also offer an additional service, and you'll see it on there for about 30%. They help us to be able to go after businesses in our community that aren't paying their fair share of sales tax. So they are able to look at, they on our behalf, our third party would look at the books of many people who may or may not be paying their fair share, whether we're friends with them or not, here in this community. And so the 30% the company would keep, and the city of Kirby would get the 70% if they were able to find something based on their the information that they reported to the state, or compared to if companies are using the right business names here in the city of Kirby, since that was something that was not checked previously.
Councilmember Street.
You do, I have a question. Yes, I've heard their spiel before, and I have the documents. I'm just not clear on what they're gonna do. Okay, say they find $1,000 that was somehow not directed our way. We keep 700, they get 300?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the only thing they're doing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what else are they doing?
They're going to do search and also go through our processes to see which businesses in Kirby are registered with the state, are reporting to the county, and then also make sure if we're getting our fair share. So there's some businesses that may have a cash register. They have what's called a cash register, which is not charging all the full amount. And so that business helps us to identify additional revenue that is ours that we just don't know about.
Okay. So we don't pay them anything except that contingency fee, correct?
That's correct.
So then we don't send them $500 a month to just moderate.
No, Councilman.
Okay.
Anything else, Councilmember?
No, as long as we're not paying them unless they do something, yeah, we're good.
Councilmember Garza?
I'm just checking, is this something that's budgeted, like, for this, term, or is it something that we're looking to budget for the next one?
Oh, we're budgeted for this term, to get that, so the $3,500 is annual, so it would go into the we'll get a full year, but then
Wait.
the 30%,
3,500, I asked you if we were paying them. You said no.
So
I'm confused. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
the document that you have in front of you gives you the numbers. The 3,500 is the baseline service for the education and things that I just spent 10 minutes sharing. The additional service, which is 30%, is an added benefit of why we want to use them, because right now we're not collecting or know about companies that are not paying the city of Kirby. So we would get 70% of money that we don't know about, on top of educating residents on one of the programs that I rolled out before, similar to a Kirby dollar. To whom you give your money is to whom you give your power. If residents don't engage to know that going to HEB or Walmart on Foster Road, which is close, if there are opportunities for them to spend money in the boundaries of Kirby, we want to implore them to do that first. That's what we're saying. Sales tax money goes here. We do not get sales tax money when you go to HEB or the Walmart on Foster Road.
Okay, so we're adding the economic development portion of this, so as of right now, you're saying that we do pay them annually $3,600, correct?
No, we don't currently pay them anything. We're looking to pay them $3,500 or $3,600 annually, and then engaging with them to do the recovery for 30%.
Okay, and, so again, this is budgeted for on this year at $6,100?
We're not asking for the $6,100, we're asking for the $3,500 and the 30%. The economic development portion, we're not rolling that out yet. We want to roll that out later, but right now we got to see if we want to have results.
Okay, it was just listed on here, that's the only reason why I thought, so I'll just scratch that out. Okay, so, yeah, we're just talking about this consultation fee, $3,600 annual and 30%. Is there a reason why it breaks out crime control, like, to audit? I mean, they're auditing, is there, how does that go?
Yes, because crime control gets money through the same process. And so there's money, if they're, based on the sales tax, if the city is missing money, crime control will be missing it too. And so they're saying they separate out, since crime control is a separate entity from the city, they would want an additional 35%.
I got you. Okay, that's all the questions I have, thank you.
Councilmember Molina?
I have a question.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca? Councilmember Lozano?
Yes, sir, do you know if the 30% recovery fee, is that something that's, that you can, like,
Negotiate. No, that's their standard fee, but I did try. She just drove up here for the 4th time. I think they met with us last week, because they have a new person. Now, they did offer us a discount, which you see, which was the 6,100 as a package. But I know you all are very conservative with the money, so I wanted to get the first part first, and then later on, get the second part, if we feel that it's valuable to our community.
so right now we're only, looking at the $3,600, yearly. And then, explain to me the 30% and 35%, that's.
The city of
They charge
Kirby.
an additional 30% for the.
So two different services. The 35% $3,500 or $3,600 service gets us the information and the research and the things that we need to push out to start tracking economic development.
Okay.
They offer an additional recovery service, so if they find a business that is not paying their fair share based on the state or the county, if they recover money, they want 30% and we get 70% of money we did not know about.
Okay, so that's the sales tax audit
That
and
is correct.
recovery fee.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that's all I have, thank you.
Councilmember McCormick?
No questions, you've covered.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to accept resolution 2026-587, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with HDL companies, providing a severability clause and establishing an effective date.
Second.
Have a motion to adopt resolution 2026-587, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with HDL companies providing a severability clause and establishing an effective date. First by Mayor Pro Tem Amador, second by Councilmember Molina. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina,
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 9F, discussion and possible action to issue requests for proposals for municipal ongoing services.
Council, I think some of you have heard the conversation. We've been working on this for about the last 8 months. We started talking about this about a year ago, myself, Chief Cardona, and then we brought on our attorney to actually get the documentation. We weren't necessarily prepared a year ago when we talked about this. What we're trying to do is be able to then move through a process to help beautify Kirby. In that process is a lean process. What we're doing right now is asking for an RFP for lawn mowing services for the city of Kirby. That helps us in 2 ways. One, a third party, if for residents, businesses, or things that have not come into compliance and violate our ordinances, we can send a third party to take pictures, cut the grass, fill out the forms, then submit it to our code enforcement. It's not the city of Kirby cutting the grass, it's a third party. There's going to be a charge. We would pay that charge, and then the city would put a lien on the property here in the city of Kirby. This is one of the ways we would use this RFP. Outside of it, a second way, because we have reduced staff currently right now in the city of Kirby, we would have 1 or 2, up to 3 businesses that we would use in rotation in reference to, as long as those businesses had about $1 million worth of insurance, we want to engage local business. I see a lot of lawn care services locally to Kirby and the surrounding areas. We want to engage those entrepreneurs and opportunities to do business with the city of Kirby. That's what this is for. This is the reason why we're doing the RFP. We didn't have to do this. This is what we're doing to make sure that we engage local businesses, but also protect ourselves in reference to that, making sure that our public works aren't seen as like, oh, the city's trying to get money because they cut our grass and took a picture. We have an outside company that will provide us an invoice, and we'll be able to track that when we go to court. In this process, the actual RFP was created by our
Councilmember Street?
So we actually had an RFP, what do you know? Okay. Well, you answered the question I had about why we aren't using the city guys, since we do have a mower. Is that a liability issue that we
Yes, conflict of interest. Because citizens would think that we're sending city guys to take pictures and cut their grass to make money off of them.
Okay.
If it is a third independent person, it's no conflict.
We're still doing that though. We're expecting to get the money back.
Yes, that's we're gonna move forward with the lien process.
And how long does that usually take?
It depends. Some liens are a year, some liens could be 20 years.
So we could be sitting on that $100 forever.
We can, and we could make sure that residents do not have rodents that they've been complaining about for 4 or 5 years. And so we would go through the process regularly to making sure that we keep the community clean. That's what we've heard. And this is our solution to the problems that's been brought to us.
How long between we get a notice from code compliance and we send out somebody to cut the grass?
Well, currently our process is they get a notice and it's 10 days. You have 10 days to remedy the situation. Currently, right now, after the 10 days, if you don't, we have a citation process where you get a ticket. You go through court. Sometimes that has been working, sometimes it has not. The third arm is actually now implementing to where now we call somebody, we give you the notice, we call somebody on day 12 to cut the grass. They give us an invoice, we then now put the lien paperwork on the property, but we also still go through the same process. And if you sell the property and or don't clean up the community, we could continue to do that.
Okay, so 10 days, they get a notice. On the 12th day, they haven't contacted you, right?
Correct. If they haven't remedied the issue.
Then we send somebody out. Okay, they're on vacation for 2 weeks, they're screwed.
Yes. But most of the problem is not a 2-week vacation. How we got here originally is they violated an ordinance, which means their grass was already over 12 inches.
I understand.
So it would have had to be more than 2 weeks, it would have been 2 months for them to be gone, for it to be that high. This is just an additional arm. Now, to share, that's our third part, being able to apply the lien. Then the next part, which we met last week or in the last 2 weeks, building and standards, which is another lever we would have to be able to clean up our community working together.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Garza?
Okay, so, I wasn't quite understanding the process. So the process is right now, notice for 10 days, and then they get a citation, and then we take them to court over there.
Yes, if it's grass, it's 10 days. If it's trash or something, structurally, you have 30 days.
Gotcha. Okay, so, in this situation, we would take away the citations and instead call someone to come cut the yard? Or would we still give them the citation after the 10 days, and then, after that, we would, call someone?
So citations are discretion, obviously, but we're trying to move into a process of enforcement. So the first notice, let's say it's for trash or rubbish, or it's for, grass. This is grass, so 10 days. On the 11th day, on the re-inspection, if it's not fixed, a citation is being mailed out. Then we do give an opportunity after that.
How long is that opportunity?
So the next court date, right? The next court date would be on once on the second Wednesday of every month, third Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
So we give them an opportunity to get to court and resolve it, which our prosecutor is really good about. So after that, if it's not resolved, then they get an additional 10 days with a lien notice on the door and certified mail. That lien notice then states that for a year, the city of Kirby is allowed to cut the property and abate the issue and put a lien without further notice.
Okay.
The process that he's discussing, or we're discussing right now, is on the extreme cases. We're having, they're mostly on the extreme cases. There's some houses right now that are vacant, where the owners are either unfortunately deceased, both owners, which is both husband and wife, and there's no next in kin, right? That makes it really difficult for the neighbors, and it makes it difficult for us to enforce. And then there's properties that the owners are in California, Las Vegas, New Jersey, New York, and they are invested here in the city. However, they're not regularly scheduling for their properties to be maintained, or to even inspections, for that matter. They're not coming to inspect or have a landlord or some sort of company to come out and look at these properties to see how they're being. So we're mailing them directly to them. Not the tenant, not the leasee, we're sending them straight to the owner.
And you're talking the mailing, you're mailing the citations and the next court date at the moment?
Yeah, so once the citation's set, they have 30 days, a lot of times, about 30 days before the next court date. They get a whole month.
But the city's stuck with the issue, whether it's tall grass or trash or rubbish. So these 2 months has gone by and it's still there, and many examples that you all know has been several years.
On the more extreme cases where, for example, everyone passes, when we go out the John Sterling building, there's a corner house right there on Vinton Engelman and Charles Conrad.
Sure.
And that house has literally a hole going through the roof, right? So that's gonna take a little bit longer of a process. We've been dealing with them for years, and informed by the neighbor that there's somebody coming in who they don't know, who's hanging out in the rear. That can't be anymore. So that makes it a little dangerous for the community. On top of that house, I mean, they can set it on fire, which we've had that happen before too, so we gotta be careful. But that one's going to building and standards because it's been years of nuisance, years of concern. It's affecting everyone around it. And that would be in August. That was for building and standards. Same thing with also the eclipse, I believe is on there as well. No, it's not eclipse. That's another issue.
And so let me ask you just real quick. So the process of getting somebody's yard cut for, how we're discussing this is also for extreme cases, or is this for everybody who's got grass over 12 inches?
This is for extreme. So these are consistent non-compliance.
Gotcha.
And what we're talking about is nuisance. So 12 inches of grass is a violation. This 12 inches of grass at that point, we have authorization to give you a notice, we got 10 days. But now we have addresses that are now 24 inches, 32 inches. Now there is a caveat in the law. If it becomes 4 feet, we don't need to provide you notice, we can cut it and put a lien by law.
4 feet. Got it.
Which there are a few, quite a few. And so this would help us. It's not a matter of, yes, this would help us with like enforcement, yes, absolutely. But the main thing is helping our neighbors to correct this issue because it is causing rodents, it's causing debris, it's causing.
I understand entirely. Now, just second thing, the backyards, how do we address that? Because I mean, obviously we see the front, if it's 4 feet, the back's gotta be.
It has to be visible. If it's not visible, because a lot of people are moving to these wooden privacy fences, and we can't just go into the gaps and peer in. That doesn't count. We can't do that. Everyone can pass that. Like, I can see right there. You can tell it's tall. We can't use that by court law. Like that's not going to be allowed. It has to be something that can be easily visible. Chain link fence, it helps. If you have boards missing and your fence is falling down, that's going to be another issue. We can see through that, then we see further concerns. Now, I will say, if the front of the property is at 3 feet, 2 feet, 12 inches, then more than likely the rear is the same. You can get an administrative warrant to actually go into the backyard and investigate that, if it's to that degree.
Thank you. Councilman Molina? Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
No questions.
Councilman Lozano? Councilman McCormick?
No questions.
Thank you. Have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to request for proposals for municipal.
Hold on one moment.
The only, there is a change based on when we've been working on this. In the RFP, it says July 10th. We just want to change that to August.
So they can accept it.
If you can accept it with that change. Because it says, proposals must be received by such and such, and we want to just change it to August, because since August 10th.
I make a motion to request for proposals for municipal lawn mowing services with the date changed to August 10th.
Second. Have a motion to issue a request for proposal for municipal lawn moving services with the date of all change to August 10th. First by Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second by Councilman Lozano. Please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
For extreme cases, yes.
Councilmember Molina?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Ryder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving to 9B, discussion of possible resolution number 3031, designating authorized officials to act on behalf of the applicant in connection with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Development, Wildlife Department, Global Park Grant Program, certifying eligibility, availability of matching funds, dedication of the project site for public and park recreational uses, and providing effective date. Dr. Rowland?
Council, this is a great opportunity that we've been talking about. We're now at the place where we need a resolution to be adopted for the Texas Parks and Wildlife. There are 2 grants that we're going to be applying for, the first time ever for the city of Kirby. One is in the amount of $150,000 that requires a 50% match. The second is $750,000 that requires a 50% match. Those numbers equal $900,000. You all just approved money in the CO to align us and help to be able to match this, and now we've doubled our money for the investment for Friendship Park, Hugo Lewis Park, and the park by the John Sterling Building. For us to be able to move forward and qualify for this process, it is required that we have a resolution adopted by this body. You all have the documents before you. We're currently working with, again, Lone Star Consulting, and some partners in reference to preparing our proposal to be submitted to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Board.
Thank you. Councilmember Street.
No.
Councilmember Garza.
My resolution came in with a bunch of blanks on it. I mean, is this something that we fill in after we adopt the resolution, or?
Yes, so, after we adopt it, we fill in the blanks, and I think the majority of them are fairly simple.
Okay, so it doesn't give a designee, and also like.
The designee would be either myself or the mayor, like all documents.
Okay, it just, again, I get real weary when I get anything blank, just because it doesn't give us a lot of information. Also, getting the stuff with the parks, a 50% match, and we were still talking about $900,000. Do we have a listing of what we would like to do with that money at all?
Yes, it's gonna go to improve, the things we talked about at the park. So in this plan, the same presentation that you all came through when we talked with Alex Gonzalez, the same presentation that you all sat through with Sarah, San Antonio River Authority, working to put together a larger regional plan for our park. So this is just a small piece to the puzzle. In the certificate of obligation, I think it was about $2 million was broke down for the parks, which was the portion which would allow us to be able to say, we have $900,000 already, now we can double it, and we've just got more bang for our buck to do the same exact programs we were gonna do anyway with some of our partners. So this is just, again, being strategic in our alignment of things that we have been talking about all year.
Okay, I completely understand that, but we still don't have a list, right?
No, we're working with our partners to pull that together. We're gonna be working on our park master plan, which we're gonna submit to them, which is gonna help us get these funds.
Okay. All right, that's all I got, thank you.
Councilmember Molina. Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca.
No question.
Councilor Lozano.
Yes, sir, so when you say partners, you're referring to Lone Star?
Yes, Lone Star is one of our partners on this project. Myself is working on this, Kathy Gomez is working on this, and we're gonna be, bringing on a engineering firm to help us with the schematic designs for actually the park and what we're gonna submit under our parks master plan. Both, and which will help us at the regional level, the state level, in reference to which Sarah's come, San Antonio River Authority, when they came to the presentation about helping us with nature-based solutions. This has an direct alignment for additional money to come. Having this master plan, which we'll talk about later on in the month, will help us to kind of move this forward.
And we're looking at 1.8 million? So 900,000?
Yes, so yeah, the grant is, there are two grants, one for 150, one for 750, and they both require 50% match, that's correct.
Okay, and then, I guess, I have that where I'm leery as well when we get, forms that don't have, like the page 156 authorization. It doesn't say who is authorized to, act on behalf of the applicant. Is that, Lone Star?
No.
Lone Star, you're going in?
No, I mean, myself and the mayor, the same authorization. We've already been working with Lone Star behind. We've already registered with the state, the federal government and SAMS.gov, both for not just this grant, but for 4 other grants. We work with them, but we're the only one who actually are dedicated to putting our information to actually submit. Oh, it's myself actually. I have the SAMS.gov information.
Okay, you just got it.
Councilmember McCormick. In short, moving forward with this would pretty much help us achieve the things that we envision in the master plan and the items that was presented to us by the community.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
myself and the mayor's name on there, just so everybody's okay. Just so you know one.
Thank you, Dr. Rowland. Okay, so, number one, I just want to say, there's several documents. All the documents are blank, and the mayor signs most of the documents, and the city manager, that's how it's been that's how it is. So I'm not sure if there's questions about things being blank, how it's always been. That's one thing. Other than that, thank you for the work on this. I hope we do get approved. Number one, so I know a lot of people are looking forward to our parks being updated, and they're excited about that. So, have a motion.
Mayor, make a motion to adopt resolution number 3031, designating authorized officials to act on behalf of the applicant in connection with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department Local Park Grant Program, certifying eligibility, availability of matching funds, and dedication of the project site for public park and recreational uses, and providing an effective date.
Second.
Have a motion to adopt resolution number 3031, designating authorized officials to act on behalf of the applicant in connection with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department Local Park Grant Program, certifying eligibility, availability of matching funds, and dedication of the project site for public park and recreational uses, and providing an effective date. First by Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second by Councilmember McCormick, please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia?
Yes.
Councilmember Molina?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to 9A, discussion of possible action to apply for application affidavit, Texas Water Development Board. And you briefly talked about this, we talked about this before.
Yes, we have talked about this before. This is, an additional grant that we're applying for called the WSI grant. It is formulated from House Bill 500. That's the $1.2 billion that the Texas State Legislature put aside specifically for water projects. As we've been going through and we submitted several other projects before, we met with our team. We met both with Gimler Engineering and we met both with Bain & Bain, working along with Lone Star and our team, our Public Works team, in reference to see what's the best project that we wanted to submit. We didn't want to duplicate projects, so we didn't touch the water wells. We thought, I thought of an idea that was an issue in Kirby. For those of you who don't know, Kirby hasn't always had its boundaries, and so we have grown in our boundaries. So if you look at Springfield, there is, we have sewer or wastewater lines, but no water lines. On FM 78, just like where the bubble bath is, we don't have water there, nor do we have water from, right after who knows where the creek is, all the way down to the clinic. And so the proposal, which is about $2.5 million, for our WSI, we're wanting to submit to extend wastewater services to the area. What will that do? That will bring in additional revenue because that will make properties that currently are not hot, meaning having the infrastructure to be able to put development there, that will allow us to be able to put the development there and bring additional resources through our utilities, which are water and wastewater. Does that make sense for everybody? So right now, I won't go into it, but right now, in our CCN, we don't have all the services because the city of Kirby at whatever point didn't make the investment, and so now we're trying to make that investment to bring in additional revenue and resources.
And Councilmember Street. Councilmember Garza.
Is there a matching component to this grant?
No, sir, 100%. It's at most cities out of the 1.2 billion can apply for about 10 million. The sweet spot, specifically our city, we're looking at about 2.5, 2.8 billion, 100%, no match. So it's a win-win if we get this, because then we'll be generating revenue from the water, from those commercial projects starting to use water. Right now, they pay sauce.
Awesome, thank you. That's it.
Councilman Molina,
No questions.
Mayor Tim Apodaca,
No question.
Councilman Lozano,
No.
Councilman McCormick.
And Councilmember Garza asked that question, so no.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to apply for application affidavit Texas Water Development Board.
Second.
Have a motion to apply for application affidavit Texas Water Development Board, first by Mayor Tim Apodaca, second by Councilmember Garza, please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza.
Yes.
Councilmember Molina,
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano,
Yes.
Councilmember Street,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca,
Yes.
Mayor Greider.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to 9I, discussion of possible action to approve Texas Water Development Board Resolution 0201B, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Kirby requesting financial participation from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for financial participation and making certain findings in connection therewith.
Any questions?
Councilmember Street.
I'm just not sure exactly what this is. It's an application resolution? Is that different from just an application for funds?
Yeah, because I think one of the one you're looking at has where the engineer needs to sign, the finance person needs to sign, which is different from the regular resolution.
No, it just has a secretary on it. Witness. Secretary of the seal. Or am I looking at the wrong thing? This is 201B. So I don't really know, on this day, regular special meeting, blank. All of who were present may accept the following among other business. Resolution of the City Council requesting financial participation in Texas Water Development Board. Authorizing the filing of an application for financial participation. So it's an application to apply?
Yes, and it's 201A, right?
No, we're on I.
Okay, B, so.
So we're
yes,
applying to apply?
Yes, we're applying, yes.
Okay.
We need both, 201B and 201A as required documents. to
Yeah,
submit
2 and
into
1
the
A is
package.
later.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Garza.
Okay, so the idea of financial participation, I mean, is anything that we have to pay for? Because this is kind of what it sounds like with financial participation. Is there like a fee for the application, or are we like giving them, $500 a month or something to be part of it?
No, there's no fee, but there are costs. Just like when we employ our engineer, it's not for free. When we have our attorney review an application, it's not for free.
So do we have the cost of this application?
No, we don't. That's part of just why in our package, we're submitting about 2.5 to 2.8 in reference to what we're saying the cost is gonna be. That's engineering, and that's some of the additional costs. But there are some outside costs that we're gonna have to eat, but if it's 100% for us, there's gonna be some things that we're not gonna be able to recoup. But then if you spend $10,000 for some plans to get $2.8 million, that's
Yeah, that's a good return. Absolutely. I mean, I was just wondering if there was like an ongoing cost just to be part of the Texas Water Development Board, but just because it just says financial participation, which basically usually means that it's some kind of bill or something that we're gonna continually pay. And I was just wondering if we had, an amount, that's all. So, no, we don't.
not yet, no.
And, if we approve this, I mean, we're stuck on that. I mean, it's not gonna be $100,000 or anything, right? It'll be like $30 or $500 or something like that?
No, each time we will continue to bring that information back to you all.
Okay.
But right now, for us to be able to even put the applications together, they're requiring that we have both of these affidavits, like 201 in the back.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Molina,
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca,
No questions.
Councilman Lozano,
0201B, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Kirby requesting financial participation from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing a filing of an application for financial participation and making certain findings in connection therewith.
Second.
I have a motion to approve Texas Water Development Board Resolution 0201B, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Kirby requesting financial participation from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for financial participation and making certain findings in connection therewith. First, Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second, Councilmember Molina, please call roll.
Councilmember McCormick,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Molina,
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano,
Yes.
Councilmember Street. Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca,
Yes.
Mayor Greider.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving to 9J, discussion and possible action on application filing and authorized representative resolution, Texas Water Development Board 0201A.
Council, similar, we need both, 201A and 201, to submit to our application. If you see this resolution is just, we'll have to have our financial advisor, our engineer, and bond counsel all sign this. Well, not sign it, but necessarily put note. They'll have to sign it saying that they have reviewed the documentation to where the city's not, saying some things that, so that everyone's on the hook. And so, we're asking that we're asking for approval for filling the application and authorizes the representative for the resolution 201A.
Councilmember Street.
There's a blank for the money. Section 1, this is an application is hereby approved and authorized to be filed with the Texas Water Development Board seeking financial assistance in an amount not to exceed blank to provide for the cost of blank. So, how much are we gonna put on here and what are we doing it for?
We just said we're applying for the $2.5 to $2.8 million for the water line extensions that we currently don't have. Once we have a baseline sketch that Medina has provided to us, once we get authorization to move forward, we will fully have to develop out what it's gonna cost us and how much.
I got it.
So right now we're
The
asking.
problem is, this has a place for money and why we're using the money, and it doesn't say that. We're writing a blank check to you.
Not to me, I don't get the money. And so I don't know why you would say
We're
that.
writing a blank check.
It's not to me.
Well, you're gonna be signing off on it.
That means I would want to make sure that I'm using my fiduciary responsibility.
Well, we don't know how much it is, because it's not stated anywhere on the document
I guess that's why
or
Kirby never
the
got
item
it.
on the agenda.
I guess that's why Kirby never got any of this money before.
I can't help
Because they
that.
were- because the
That is not
guidance-
me.
No,
I
it's-
have no control over the agenda, as we all know, because I've made numerous requests on the agenda. Anyway, this agenda item does not say that we are applying for $2.5 million for extending water lines, which would be so simple to put on here. Everybody would know what we were doing and why, and how much it was gonna cost, and then there would be, there would limit the number of questions that are up here. Don't you think that would work? Being communicative to those of us who are making the decisions, being upfront, transparent, those words you like to throw around?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, can we do that next time?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why we're asking about blank spaces and all this. Yes, we've never questioned that before.
You
Well, I'm
never had it
questioning them
before.
now.
You never had it before. The city has never gotten.
Whatever no. Resolutions come through all the time with empty spaces on them. I just never called it out before. I'm doing it now.
Yes, ma'am. You guys.
Yeah, I am. Because the people would like to know too. They live here and
If
pay this money.
If this resolution does not pass, the city of Kirby will not be able to apply for this grant.
I'm just asking if you can't fill these in next time. Would that be possible? Would it be possible to give us the appropriate information prior to the meeting? next time when you don't. Thank you.
Number one, so are you finished now?
Number one, what?
Are you finished now?
Not if you're about to come after me, no.
Ma'am, are you finished? Well, again, we're not. Point of order. That's your second warning. On your third move, we asked to leave. We're not gonna be attacking each other. We're not gonna do
Preparing
that.
for it.
Ma'am, we're not gonna do that, and you're not recognized. Are you
Oh, I
finished?
still got a minute
Are
or
you-
two.
Okay, go ahead, run the phone.
You just seem to be rushing me, because you sounded like you were about to tell me I was being inappropriate or something. But I'm pointing out the actions that are not getting taken to fill in the information for council members who do not have access to his office on a daily basis, and who only get responses that say, received with thanks, when I ask the questions. Although I was surprised to get the answers back, but that's because he didn't do it. He sent it to the bond people and they answered the questions.
Ma'am.
So,
Council-
anyway, I was
Mr.
pointing
Jones,
out things that were missing, so
she's
thank
doing
you.
it right now.
And then what you need to do, if you want to expel her, you need to have a motion and a second. And four people need to approve her being expelled from the meeting.
Right now, it's a point of order, that's your third warning. You were again berating the staff for no reason. And so, it's your point of order. If I have a motion to remove Councilmember Street,
Mayor, make a motion to expel Councilmember Street.
Okay.
Second.
have a motion to expel Councilmember Street from the meeting.
Oh, the cops are here. Wow.
The cops are always here.
You need to take a vote now.
First by Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca, second by Councilmember Molina. Please take roll.
Councilmember McCormick?
Yes.
Councilmember Garza?
No.
Councilmember Molina?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano? No. Councilmember Street?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Apodaca?
Yes.
Mayor Greider?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
That was absolutely
Can you please
planned.
escort her out? Thank you.
I
We can take
stuck
a
together.
recess right now.
So,
While the council members are.
Unless they're gonna handcuff me to get me out of here, I don't know. I'm wondering. Yeah, because they're taking me out of my time, I'm still gonna be on the agenda.
Yes, we're taking a recess right now.
We're going to take a recess. We will come back here shortly.